Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. I've been busy doing schoolwork. So my reward for finishing a paper is filming. Yay! So I'm very excited about this particular video. And that is because we are going to be ranking all of the Barbie movies asterisks that I've seen. So I'm wearing my Barbie shirt. I am ready to go. A shout out. I had my little sister Danae help me with this. So some of these rankings are not just me. It was a collaborative effort. So I'm not too biased here. I mean, the whole thing is technically biased because a lot of it is based on nostalgia, but we ignore that because Barbie is life. Okay? So let's get right into it. Let's get into ranking the Barbie movies. So obviously first we're going to go over the tiers. We have at the bottom elephants, cats, and bears. Oh my. This is actually just the not good Barbie movies. There aren't very many, but the ones that are there for a reason. Now, the name itself will get talked about when I talk about other movies. That tier will be explained eventually. But if you're a Barbie fan, you can guess what I mean. Next, we have Meh. It's just there. Like, I'll watch it, but it's not going to be one I'm drawn to. And so I'm just like, it's a Meh. In the middle, we've got minor complaints. These are like really, really good. There are just a couple of things that are just like not super sat well with me, but still an amazing movie. Don't get me wrong. Next up from that, we have Almost Perfection. This is so close, but not quite there. Very, very few little complaints, but it's just not quite there because at the top we have the great and powerful Bibble. Again, will be talked about once we get to that. But if you know Barbie, you understand why that's the number one. That's the godly tier right there. Okay, so those are the tiers. Let's get on to the movies themselves. Now to start, I think this is a bit of a controversial opinion in the Barbie community. We have the Nutcracker, Barbie and the Nutcracker. Barbie and the Nutcracker is about the play, the Nutcracker play, where we have Barbie who plays this girl Clara. She has a dream about a bunch of rats in a nutcracker. She shrinks and goes into this world to find the Sugar Plum Princess? Something along those lines. I'm telling you right now, I didn't like it. And that is an unpopular opinion in the Barbie community. I don't know. I haven't seen it in a really long time, so maybe I would change my mind, but I know I've seen clips. The graphics aren't good. Well, that good. I mean, this movie came out in like 2000 or something, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. And so it's going in elephants, cats, and bears. Oh my. I know it's not that's very, very, very low. Most people would have this in Almost Perfection or maybe Great and Powerful People. And I don't understand that because it's just not that good. It's just not. In fact, I'm never drawn to this movie ever because it's bad. It's just straight up bad. I don't know. I don't know. If you really like Nutcracker, please tell me in the comments below. My sister feels the same way. This is just not a good movie, okay? Nothing else to say about that. Moving on. Next, we have Barbie as Rapunzel. This is a childhood favorite. You know it's Rapunzel, okay? So it's that story, no real confusion or anything. There's just magic involved with a paintbrush. Barbie paints in this one, okay? So this one was great. I loved it as a kid. No, I mean, the animals in this one are so good. We got Penelope the dragon. We had the rabbit that I can't remember his name, and also the weird weasel. Gothel's weasel was weird, but I loved him. And I don't know why. So, Barbie and Rapunzel, me and Danae worked on this one together. This one is going into minor complaints. It's pretty much, it could almost be almost perfection. It's just a little bit like the prince is really, really dumb in this one. I want to say his name is Steven. I could be wrong. Editor Kira, am I wrong? Great. So he seems pretty dumb in this. That's really my minor complaint is that the prince is just kind of dumb. So that's Rapunzel. Next one. Next we have Barbie Swan Lake. So again, it's another ballet. It's Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake. I think with some changes. I'm pretty sure it's not the exact Swan Lake. But anyways, Barbie plays Odette, and she goes into this wood because she follows a unicorn and ends up pulling this crystal, and she's like the chosen one. And then we have Rothbart, who's the villain. It's great. We love it in this household. The unicorn's name. Oh no, what's the unicorn's name? It starts with a D. Uh-oh. I don't feel like it's Delia, but that's the only thing that's coming to mind. Anyways, the unicorn itself makes this a really good movie. Rothbart and his daughter is played by Janice from Friends. Like, that's insane to me. They're super fun. I love them. And then we have the little elves. The elves are fun. We like them too. And then Daniel. Daniel's a great prince. He's one of many really great love interests. Not my favorite, but he's up there. So Swan Lake is going into almost perfection. It's very good. Highly recommend Swan Lake. Next up, Princess and the Pauper. I mean, this one has next to no explanation for anybody that is in a Barbie fandom. This is going in Great and Powerful Bibble. There need no explanation. If I must explain, we have Barbie who plays Princess Annalise, and we have Barbie who plays Erica, who's peasant. She's poor, and they meet up one day, realize that they look alike, except Barbie has blonde hair. Barbie goes missing. Erica takes her place. I mean, it's great. And with the songs, there is maybe not a single one that's bad. That's how good this soundtrack is. So, the villain Preminger, maybe one of the best villains in all of Barbie. Okay, this man is amazing. I love him. His song, hilarious. His henchman, Nick and Knack, so good. And then we have Julian, who is who's Annalise's love interest, and he's amazing, and we love Julian. And then we have Dominic, who's Erica's love interest, and we love Dominic. He is underrated when this movie gets talked about. He doesn't get talked about enough. It's always Julian this, Julian that. I mean, Dominic is here looking for a good time with Erica. Mind you, who doesn't know that? It's Erica. But he's fallen, and he's cute, and he can sing. I mean, that's great. Cats wise, Seraphina's decent. Wolfie is life. And then we have the horse Hervé. Hervé, we love Hervé. But anyways, Princess and the Pauper clearly goes in Great and Powerful Bibble. There's no other place for it. It is perfection. Perfection. Next is Fairytopia. I have thoughts about Fairytopia. The one that I think most of the Barbie community would disagree with me again. Now, here's the problem. It has Bibble, who is the great and powerful Bibble, and he is the best animal creature sidekick in all of the movies. Okay? Bibble is life. We freaking love Bibble in this household. It is almost heresy to say that he is not the best. It's not quite, because I understand some of the hate towards Bibble. But at the same time, I'm like, why would you hate this adorable creature? Which means it should go in the top one, except I don't like it that much. So Barbie plays Alina, who's a fairy without wings. And then all of a sudden, there's a sickness going around where all of the fairies can't fly. And so Alina goes on this adventure to meet the villain Laverna and trying to save Fairytopia. In essence, it's fine. It has some fun characters. The butterfly that I don't know his name, he's fun. And then there's those weird little troll things that are low-key annoying. Minor complaint there. So Fairytopia is going in minor complaint. There's more Fairytopia coming because it is a series. It's kind of just in the middle for me when it comes to the Fairytopia movies. It's great, don't get me wrong, but there are others that I like more, and there are definitely others I like less when it comes to the Fairytopia universe. So Fairytopia is going in minor complaints. I still would watch it 100%, but it does go in minor complaints. Next is The Magic of Pegasus. Underrated. Okay, this movie is amazing. This isn't like an enemies to lovers thing going on. The love interest, Aiden, he may be my favorite. He may be my favorite. The dynamic is very much Flynn Rider Rapunzel vibes from Tangled, but at the same time, mainly Aiden is just Flynn because Annika, the Barbie's character in Magic of Pegasus, is not quite like Rapunzel, but so good. So Barbie plays Annika. She's a princess. We find out that the villain in the movie, whose name is Wenlock, he's a wizard, question mark. And when Annika's sister turned 16, he turned her in, was it 16? No. She just refused to marry him, and he turned her into a Pegasus. And so Annika never knew about her sister. And that's really bad. And then Wenlock comes and is like, Annika, you're going to marry me. She's like, nah, fam. And we get this whole little adventure of her trying to save her people. It's so good. It's so good. Mainly because of the dynamic between Aiden and Annika. It's so good. I don't know what else to say. This is going in great and powerful people. It is underrated 100%. I remember before I saw this movie, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't really see anything about it. I don't even know if I saw trailers for this movie. And Barbie movies always had trailers for next Barbie movies coming in. And I don't remember really ever seeing anything to the extent that it had in there. Now, all this to say, we have where the bear comes in on the bottom tier. Okay, Shiver, the baby polar bear, ruins everything. She is, in fact, the worst, with maybe one exception coming shortly. She's terrible. She's so bad. I can't blame her completely. She's in love with Aiden, as am I. I understand. But this bear just causes so many problems. But then again, without her causing problems, we have no plot. So it all balances out. Shiver, still the worst. We hate Shiver in this household. We accept Shiver hate. It's still great and powerful Bibble. It just is too good. It's too good. It's too good. Okay, great. Moving on. Next up, we have Fairytopia Mermaidia. So this is the sequel. This one has Alina going to save Prince Nalu, who she had met in the first one, and getting to explore Mermaidia. And so it's mermaids, and I'm a mermaid gal, so I was here for it. I like mermaids more than fairies, so I liked this one a lot more. Again, we have Bibble. We have a fun little turtle. She's a fun time. She's hardly around, but we like her. Nori, I think is her name. She is a fun character to have around. We have an oracle, basically. Do I remember her name? No. I want to say it's Delphine. She is interesting a little bit. And it's just overall a fun time. I really like Mermaidia. I like Mermaidia more than Fairytopia. And so does my sister. And so this one is going in almost perfection. This is a really good movie. The fungus, which are Laverna's little side, like minions, hilarious in this movie. They are so good. Like, they're so much better in this movie than in the first one because the fungus are like actual characters in Mermaidia. It's magnificent and I love it. So definitely watch Mermaidia. You will need to watch Fairytopia first because it does bring lore. Okay, and lore is important. So Mermaidia goes in almost perfection. Next up, 12 Dancing Princesses. We love this movie. And when I say this is a childhood favorite, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. My cousin had this one, and it was almost every single time we went to her house, we ended up watching 12 Dancing Princesses. So Barbie's a princess, one with 11 other siblings, and her name is Genevieve. So she's seventh. Mom's dead, of course. Dad doesn't know what to do with them because they're not like normal princesses. And so he calls in his cousin, Rowena. She's horrible, treats them like trash. And they find out that there is this magical place where they can sneak to during the night to dance. And it's amazing. It's so good. And then we have Derek, the love interest. He's amazing. I love Derek. So this one is obviously going in Great and Powerful Bibble, simply because it has so much nostalgic value, but also just because it's good. Okay, animal sidekicks. Let's talk. We've got a tiger that I believe a tiger. It's a cat. Her name I believe is Twyla. I'm not 100% sure. She kind of sucks. Add to the cats at the bottom. Now the monkey Brutus, he's evil but amazing. We love Brutus. And then Derek has a parrot. Do I remember what the parrot's name is? No. He's funny though. He's hilarious. Desmond. He is Rowena's minion. He's hilarious. And then the sisters all are pretty good except for Lacey. She's the worst. We don't like Lacey in this house. But overall, I mean, this movie is so good. The music's fun. The dancing. I remember us as children being like very involved in the dancing, and we'd be like dancing in the living room along with them and trying to be ballerinas. Did it work? No. But we were having a good time. So 12 Dancing Princesses, Great and Powerful Bibble. It's one of the best. Next we have Fairytopia, Magic of the Rainbow. So this is the third Fairytopia. And this one is the worst Fairytopia. So this one has Alina going to a school of sorts to learn this ritual to do with spring. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure. Laverna's a bad guy again, so she comes along and ruins a lot of things. And it's classic Fairytopia from there. Highlight, Bibble gets a girlfriend named Dizzle. She's fun, mainly because it just means we get a Bibble acting love-struck. And love-struck Bibble is wonderful. But that's really the only, like, really amazing thing to happen in this one. It's pretty forgettable. The characters are kind of okay. They're either you kind of like them or you hate them. There's not a whole lot of in between with the characters. So for these reasons, Magic of Rainbow is going into meh. It's just not good enough to go any higher, but it's not bad enough that it's going down there beside Nutcracker, okay? It's better than Nutcracker, 100%, but it's not that good. So honestly, if you just don't watch it after Mermaidia, you're kind of okay. There's nothing too important in Magic of Rainbow, so that's that. Next is The Island Princess. Another childhood favorite because we had this one, so it got watched a lot. Island Princess is about a girl named Ro, and she basically is shipwrecked on this island when she's like 6, 7 maybe. She has no idea. She has no memory of her life before the shipwreck. And she can talk to animals and understands animals. She is found by this prince many years later who's exploring, and he brings her to civilization. And then mischief ensues. So this is where the elephant in the room, quite literally, is Tika. Tika is the worst. Actually, the worst. She's worse than Shiver, which is saying a lot because I hate Shiver with my entire being. I hate Tika with a passion of 1,000 flames. Okay? Tika is annoying. Tika is super selfish, doesn't share. She's not great. We don't like Tika. She's the worst. However, the other two animals, we have Azul, the peacock, Prince Azul. I should repeat. I'm sorry, Prince Azul. It's Prince. And we've got the red panda, who I'm forgetting his name. Oh, that's bad that I don't remember his name. Great. Ro is fine. Antonio the Prince, not great. We don't like him that much. The villain, Ariana, fun. She has rats. The rats are amazing. They have a song. It's the banging song. It's one of the best in the movie. Also, this one has really good music. There is, I think, a couple that I'm like, nyeh about, but this one has quite a few bangers, I must say. It's pretty good. Music is really up there. Now, all this being said, it is going in minor complaints. Tika really drops it, okay? This could be almost perfection, but because of Tika, she plays more of an annoying role than Shiver. And I hate Shiver. Tika's that much worse, okay? And because the songs are just not quite as good as some of the others, like in Princess and the Pauper, they're just all of them are bangers, and this one has not all bangers. And because the Prince Antonio is very meh, minor complaints. Okay, still so good, would love it, and I am drawn to it occasionally. It's just not almost perfection. It's not. It's got some issues. So that's the Island Princess. Next up is Mariposa and her butterfly fairy friends. But I'll just call it Mariposa because that's too long of a title. This is in the Fairytopia universe. So in this, Alina is telling Bibble a story of a friend of hers named Mariposa. And she's a butterfly fairy, which is a different kind of fairy. And they live in this town. Do I know its name? No. And they are terrified of these things called skeezites because they eat butterfly fairies. But the skeezites are scared of light. So this town has these fancy lights everywhere that the queen is able to, like, the queen creates energy for these lights, and all of a sudden she starts to die. It's bad. And so the skeezites are more of a threat. And so Mariposa goes on an adventure to find a cure because of Prince Carlos, who seeks Mariposa out because they had met one day and they have a shared love of books, which we love. Now, this is a very good movie. It is so good. Me and my sister realized we don't remember a lot of what happens in the movie itself. My sister less than me, for sure. There are definitely parts I remember. The twin fairies that join her are kind of fun. They kind of suck at the beginning, but they're fun by the end. Her friend who stays behind is kind of nice. The villain is very just like middle of the road. But kind of the thing that I remember the most was that Barbie, who plays Mariposa, is voiced by a different voice actor. A voice actor she often does like Barbie's best friend in a lot of the other movies, but she plays Mariposa, and that was really fun. I just really liked Mariposa as a character. She was different, way different to a lot of the other Barbie characters, I felt like. All is to say, Mariposa is going in minor complaints, mainly because we just couldn't remember the plot nearly as well as a lot of the other movies on this list, but we know it was good. The aesthetic of this movie is amazing. I love it. It's a lot of purples and pinks and pastel colors. Really pretty. The skeezites are creepy, but not scary. And she does have this Bibble-esque creature friend that they meet along the way. She's a bunny and can actually talk, but she has wings. And not quite as good as Bibble, but she's still a pretty good creature character, but minor complaints for Mariposa. I wish I could put it higher, but I just can't. Next, we have Barbie and the Diamond Castle. Diamond Castle. So good. So we have Barbie, who plays Leanna. And I believe it's Teresa, who plays Alexa. And they're besties. They live in a cottage. They grow flowers. That's how they make a living. So they're super poor, okay? But they love singing together. And one day they lose everything because of a storm. And with what little they have left, they decide to go to the market, and they meet an old lady, and she trades them this very haggard looking mirror for like some food. And so they take this mirror, clean it up, it's super pretty now, and they start singing one day, and all of a sudden the mirror starts singing to them. And they realize that there's a girl in the mirror who tells them about the Diamond Castle, which is the birthplace of music. So they go, to try and save the Diamond Castle because this evil person, Lydia, is trying to destroy it. Of course, adventure. It's just so good. Plus, it's a musical. Points. So, Leanne and Alexa are really good friendship pair. Looking back on it, it is very, very queer coded. There are many Leanne and Alexa shippers out there, which I can see why there's a lot of chemistry between the two. Some complaints. They're dogs. They find dogs along the way. The name of Sparkles and Lily. They're so weird. They're dogs, but they dance. And that's really the major complaint here. Lydia the villain is fun. She has a brief song in the movie that's super fun. And she has this dragon named Slider, who's hilarious. We love Slider. And then obviously there's love interests because it's an early Barbie movie, and they're twins named Ian and Jeremy, and Ian and Jeremy alone, great and powerful people. Me and my sister laugh at them every time. We think they're so funny. They are too good. Now, all this to say, it's not going in Great and Powerful Bimble, it's going in Almost Perfection. Because it is. It's really good, those darn dogs. And like the ending is kind of leaves you hanging on some of the things that happen afterward, which is fine and whatever, but like it is still really good. The music is all pretty good. It's almost there. But in my heart, I know it's not quite Great and Powerful People. So Diamond Castle is almost perfection. Next is the first Christmas one, and this is A Christmas Carol. So this is obviously Barbie's version of The Christmas Carol, and we have Barbie play the antagonist for kind of the first time. Do I remember her character's name? No. I remember her cat Cheswick. Cheswick something or other. Chazzy. I'll call him Chazzy. And so she's this singer who hates Christmas and is visited by Christmas past, present, and future to just show Christmas kind of deal. I remember as a kid being like about it, not loving it, but not hating it. It's just kind of there. I watched it maybe twice, and it should get into my Christmas rotation of movies I watch, but it's just simply not. And yeah, so for that, it's going into meh. It definitely isn't Elephants, Cats, and Bears. Oh my, it's not quite that bad, but I will definitely put it in meh. I just don't watch it enough. I don't remember enough of it. Yeah, that's Christmas Carol. Next, Thumbelina. This movie is terrible. It's so bad. I honestly don't know if I've actually ever made it all the way through, which is saying a lot with some of these movies. I think I've made it all the way through. But all this to say, this is like Barbie is not Thumbelina. Thumbelina is something else entirely. Don't know what is going on. But what kind of creature is she? I don't even know what creature she is. On the poster here, it looks like she has wings. None of these creatures have wings. Those are flowers that they use as wings. And it's basically an environmental movie talking about deforestation and habitat loss, basically. And so that's what that movie's about. It's not good, in my opinion. I think that's kind of unpopular, but I don't like it at all. It goes in Elephants, Cats, and Bears. Oh my. Not much else to say here. It's just not good. It's just not good. Clearly, yes, if I don't know if I've actually made it all the way through. So that's it for Thumbelina. I want to move on. Next, Three Musketeers. Another one where I think I'm going to have a controversial opinion. I don't love Three Musketeers, okay? This is the last of like the classic Barbie movies, which everyone considered to be the best, which is for the most part true. Classic movies are by far some of the ones that are the best ones, by far. I don't love Three Musketeers. So Barbie plays Corinne, and she goes to Paris to try and be a musketeer because her father was. Turns out she can't be a musketeer because she's a girl. And so she ends up working in the palace with three other girls who also want to be musketeers. And they train together to become musketeers, end up saving the day, blah, 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 whatever. The reason it's so far down, her love interest is Prince Louis. They have weird chemistry and I don't like it. He's very mid. They're super awkward with each other, which in a normal sense should be fine. but it didn't feel like anything romantic was there. It just felt super awkward and I didn't like it. It was weird tension and I didn't like it. Miette is her cat. She's annoying. She wants to be a musketeer, guys. Musketeer. It made me want to die every time she said it. The other girls are fine. They're cool sometimes. The old lady who trains them, it gives very much is giving Karate Kid, which is kind of cool. But it's just not good. The villain's very mid. Not the best part is the fight scene and then the training montage, which is all of maybe 7 minutes in the entire movie. So this is going in meh. It's not good enough. And another reason for cats in there, Miette. Miette's maybe my least favorite cat in all of Barbie. So moving on. Next up is Barbie and a Mermaid Tale. We are now getting into modernish Barbie. Now, Mermaid Tale has a super special place in my heart, okay? Mermaid Tale had such a big impact on me. It started my surfing phase, or was right along with it when I first watched Soul Surfer. And it was right in the midst of my mermaid phase because of things like H2O, okay? This put both of my interests together, and it became one of my favorites. And so, in my mind, it's Great and Powerful Bipple. But when we take away the nostalgia and complete bias on my end of things, it is actually almost perfection. So let me describe the movie a little bit, okay? I haven't done that yet, so let me do it. Barbie plays Merlia, and Merlia is this crazy good surfer. She feels really at home in the water, and she lives with her grandpa because her dad died in an accident, and her mom is nowhere to be seen. She doesn't know anything about her mom. She thinks her mom's dead. Turns out, one day at a surfing competition, as she's surfing, her hair turns pink. And it becomes this big thing where people are like, whoa, she's got crazy pink hair. Out of nowhere, she's like, oh no, what is this? She freaks out. She dives underwater, meets a dolphin who talks to her and tells her to breathe because she can breathe underwater. And so Merlia is freaked out. She goes to talk to her grandpa, and her grandpa's like, yeah, so I lied. Your mom? Yeah, she's a mermaid. And Maria's like, you're right, okay. But it turns out it's all true, and she has to go save her hometown of Oceania from her aunt, Eris. And so she does that. It sounds so ridiculous, as do most of these. As the things go on, it just gets more ridiculous, honestly. But it had such an impact on me, you don't understand. I loved this movie. Zuma, the dolphin, amazing. We love her. Snout is this seal. He's amazing. We love him. He's a dog. That's literally his whole role, is to be a dog. Her buddies, Fallon and Hadley. Hadley is hilarious. She loves the zoo, and I understand Hadley. I also love the zoo. Fallon is much more logical. And then there's two mermaid gals, Kayla and Xylee. They're kind of fun. And then Eris is a decent villain for the most part. And then we have her mom, Calissa. It's so good. Queen of the Waves, such a good song, okay? And it's just amazing. We love it in this household. But because I know it's not as good as those ones that are in Great and Powerful Bibble. So it's in almost perfection. That took way too long. I didn't need to talk about Mermaid Tale this in depth. But I did because it holds a dear, dear place in my heart. Okay, moving on. Next is Barbie and a Fashion Fairy Tale. So Fashion Fairy Tale is amazing and should really only be watched if you are completely night drunk. And by night drunk, I mean you are overtired and you become hyper. Because Fashion Fairy Tale watched night drunk blows your mind. I've done it numerous times. I can speak on this fact. So Fashion Fairy Tale, this is when it really becomes clear that Barbie has been playing people in movies up until this point. So Barbie is an actress. Like, this is present day Barbie, not in a movie Barbie. And she had gotten fired from a movie. And she got a phone call from Ken of him breaking up with her. And she's like, what? That doesn't make any sense. I'm going to go to Paris to go help my Aunt Millicent at her fashion boutique. And so she goes. Turns out Aunt Millicent's not having a good time at the fashion boutique at all. And it's about to close down and bought by a hot dog company, I want to say. And so Barbie decides that she's going to help Millicent and her employee Elise with a fashion show. And they meet fairies, which are fairies with no wings, and they work with fashion. And Ken, in the meantime, didn't actually break up with Barbie and is trying to do this big romantic gesture of going to Paris to see Barbie. It's this whole thing, and I freaking love it. It is great and powerful Bible. No questions asked. Okay, it's too good. Animal things, Jacques Rousseau, he is a gay dog. Me and my sister are positive this dog is gay. There's no way he's not. But he has a thing for Barbie's poodle Sequin. And Sequin's like his muse. And he creates clothes because he's a dog. And then there's a cat. I don't remember her name. She hates Sequin. Villains, Jacqueline is amazing. And you have to say her name, Jacqueline, because she's French. That's just how her name is said. The Fairies are fun. And Ken is hilarious in this whole movie. So, great and powerful Bible. Please watch when you're night drunk. Fashion fairy tale. It's just too good. Too good. Too good. Next is Fairy Secret. This is another one where Barbie's in the real world. Okay? Barbie is in the real world. She's going to a movie premiere. Her dress rips because Raquel steps on it. And her two, basically, stylists. Do I know their names? No. Don't ask me about them. One wears pink and one wears purple. They fix this dress because secretly they're fairies, okay? But Barbie doesn't know this. Barbie doesn't know this. So the next day, they're at this restaurant, and Barbie and Raquel get into it because of Ken, and then they walk out. Barbie and Raquel walk out to go argue outside, and Ken follows. When all of a sudden, Ken is taken by Princess Graciela, who is a fairy princess, and she has fallen in love with Ken and takes him to Los Angeles, which is the town for fairies. And so Barbie and Raquel go to Los Angeles to save Ken with help. After everything is revealed, then Barbie finds out that her two stylists are fairies, all this and that, and they go save Ken. It's also very good, but it's going in minor complaints. It is a very good movie. Don't get me wrong. Not nearly as good as Fashion Fairy Tale. Not even, not by a long shot. The best part of this movie is that they have to have wings when they're in Los Angeles because there's no, it's in the air. And so they have to go get wings, including Ken. But Ken gets these little puny pink wings, and it's so funny. But the villain of this movie is very much, it doesn't seem like she's really that smart. And she has weird motives. I don't know. It's just all very strange. And then the reason why Barbie's stylists couldn't live in Los Angeles is very confusing. And the end is just beyond, I don't know. So, minor complaints. It's still very good. It's pretty funny. Would highly recommend. Yeah, it's a good time. Even though it's a minor complaint, it's still a good time. Next up, we have Princess Charm School. This is maybe actually one of the best of the more modern Barbies. It's really good. So Barbie plays Blair, and she lives in Gardenia. I think it's Gardenia, which has the Princess Charm School. So here princesses go to learn how to become a princess. And then if you're not a royal, you can go to become a lady royal, or basically, I think just like a lady in waiting in sorts. And so there's this lottery every year, and Blair gets picked. And, Blair's adopted. Should probably point that out. Blair's adopted. Her adoptive's mom is very sick, and she has this fun little sister. Anyways, she goes to Princess Charm School, and there she learns about the legend of Princess Sophia, who was the daughter of the previous queen, Isabella, who had died in a car accident. The whole family had died in a car accident, and the rumor was that Princess Sophia was still alive. Come on now. Things should start clicking. I won't spoil it, but you can figure it out. And so it gets to coronation day, and that's a big deal. This is a very good movie. So good. One of my favorite parts, it's one of Danae's favorite parts too, is that there is a male equivalent called Prince Charming Academy, I think. And so there's this one scene where they come to Princess Charm School and they basically are learning how to do a proper dance. And so we meet Nicholas, who is kind of the love interest, but he's hardly ever around. Blair and him have a great little dynamic thing. It's so fun. The villain is like deviously evil. Like she's actually super evil and it's amazing. Love it. Also, all of the princesses and lady royals at the school have these fairies with like crystal wings. Weird. But it's fine. The villain's daughter is an antagonist in the film. She's great. And she has a friend, Portia, who's dumb as a rock. And I love Portia. But it's just a really, really good movie. And it's going in almost perfection. Of the more modern Barbies, this is one of the best for sure. Like, then that's no bias. That's I think this is one of the best for 100%. So that's Princess Charm School. Would highly recommend. Obviously, since it's in almost perfection. Next is Barbie's other Christmas movie, The Perfect Christmas. So this one is not that great. I got it as a gag gift one year for Christmas because I love Barbie. So my mom was like, "We're gonna do something funny," and I had seen it before, but it was a really fun gag gift, and I appreciated it. But Barbie and her sisters, Skipper, Kelly, and Stacy. Is she Kelly at this point, or is she Chelsea? Kelly's name changes at one point, and I don't remember if it's here or not. But either way, they get stuck in what is Midwestern US, but somehow is supposed to like be the North Pole. I'm not 100% sure, but this lodge has like elves and they're making gifts or something. I feel like it's a musical. Again, I don't really remember. It wasn't memorable. And so this one's hard because I don't know if I can put it in meh. I just don't know if I can because I remembered more about Christmas Carol than I do about Perfect Christmas. So I guess in that sense, Perfect Christmas has to go in Elephants, Cats, and Bears. Oh my, it's just not good from what I remember of it, and clearly I don't remember much. So we're gonna move on. Next up is Mermaid Tale 2. I remember being really excited when this movie came out because I loved Mermaid Tale so much. Remember? I went at length talking about it. So this one is obviously takes place after Mermaid Tale, so I don't know how much I want to give away without spoiling it. But Barbie has this big rival. And, oh, what's her name? I want to say her name is Kylie. Kylie Morgan. Yeah, it is Kylie Morgan. And Kylie finds out through an evil fish named Alistair that Maria somehow has some advantage and has to steal this necklace that she got in the first movie in order to find out Maria's secret. And so she does. This is really bad because it ultimately releases Eris back into the ocean, which is a bad thing. And so there's adventure and mischief. Now, it isn't as good. Okay, it's going in minor complaints. Let's get that out of the way. Zuma doesn't feel as big as a role in this movie. She's definitely in it still. Snouts is again your dog. Kayla and Xylee, nowhere to be seen. They're gone. Kylie's pretty fun. Kylie's a decent new addition, but the real problem is, well, the real plot problem here is they couldn't come up with a better villain. They just were like, we gotta get Eris back, I guess. That's the only thing we can think of. There are some other side characters that I don't remember any of their names because they play next to no role in this movie and they don't have a lasting impact. But because it's Mermaid Tale, still good. Another great song to come out of this, which is Do the Mermaid. Check it out, guys. But it's just not even close to as good as Mermaid Tale, but it's still decent. And so it's going in minor complaints because I like it better than all the ones in Meh. So let's move on. Next up is Princess and the Pop Star. That's right, folks. They recycled a movie and did it so poorly. So poorly. So we have Barbie, who plays Princess Tori, I think is her name. And then we have another one who's a lookalike, kind of named Kira, and she is a pop star. What? No way, I know. And Tori, big fan of Kira. Kira, big fan of Tori. Why? I don't know. But they meet at a gala and they have magic. I don't know if you heard that. Don't mind the fire trucks. But they both have a magic item that allows them to like change clothes and hair. So Tori has a hairbrush and Kira has a microphone. And so they switch places at this gala and decide that they want to switch places for like a day. I don't know why. The songs are not nearly as good. They recycled how to be a princess, but horrible. Me and Danae laugh at it every time because it is an awful version of the song. The villain doesn't make any sense. The money system in this kingdom doesn't make sense because it's like a flower made of diamonds. I don't know. It's not good. All this talk of it not being good, I don't really have a good thing to say about this movie at all. So it's going in elephants, cats, and bears. Oh my, it's so bad. I don't want to talk about it anymore. We're moving on. Next up, we have the Pink Shoes. Pink Shoes is actually a good one. Rare at this point in time. So Pink Shoes has Barbie playing Kristen. I think her name is Kristen, who is a ballerina but has a hard time just going with a routine, and she likes to feel the music and just dance how she feels she needs to, which the main ballet teacher lady hates. She breaks her shoes or she needs new shoes or something, and so goes to the wardrobe person who gives her these pink shoes, and when she puts them on, it transports her into a magical place that is made of famous ballets. With the first being Giselle, and she is Giselle. Like, she's got red hair, she's wearing Giselle's outfit. She is not Kristen anymore. And somehow she brings her buddy around with her as well. I don't know the buddy's name, but she's not a dancer. She's a costume person. And so she dances Giselle's dance, but then freestyles, because that's what she does. And then all of a sudden the Ice Queen comes around and is like, this is not how this is supposed to go. So anyway, Kristen and her buddy leave. They end up in Swan Lake, and so all of a sudden she's Odette. Not the same Odette as Swan Lake, the movie. Because as I told you, there were changes. And so then that whole thing goes off the rails, and Ice Queen just is like, I need things back to the way they are. This is really good. This was kind of a throw out from nowhere. Like, I wasn't expecting this when I watched it the first time. Had a super fun time. Keep on Dancing, such a good song, by the way. But there's no real love interest, which is kind of sad. And a lot of these more modern ones will not have a real love interest like the classics. But there are guys in this movie that are so funny. The two guys from Giselle in particular are hilarious. And it just makes for a good time. So Pink Shoes is going to go in almost perfection. Up there with Princess Charm School as like legit good. The storytelling is really interesting and it's just fun. It's fun. I liked it. I don't know if everyone else would agree with me, but I definitely think it's one of the better modern Barbie for sure. Next is Mariposa and the Fairy Crystal Fairy Princess. I don't know, and I don't care. I think it's Mariposa and the Fairy Princess. It wasn't good. It was a sequel to Mariposa. I don't remember anything about it other than Mariposa goes to this kingdom of like crystal fairies, I'm assuming. But the crystal fairies were told like horror stories about butterfly fairies and that they were like cannibals. I don't know. It was weird. And the fairy princess like doesn't fly even though she has wings. I don't remember why. I don't know who the villain is. I don't remember anything about this movie because it was bad. And they tried to do another Bibble with a random creature that all of a sudden Mariposa has. It's not the bunny thing from the first one. It's a puffball and it's pink. And it's not at all Bibble. And it's not even Dizzle. Like, it's just bad. It wasn't good. And you don't need to watch it because none of it was good. So it's going in elephants, bears, and cats. Oh my. It's just terrible. And we're moving on. Next, we have Barbie and her sisters in a ponytail. So this one has Barbie and her sisters going to Switzerland? Question mark? I think Switzerland to a different aunt, not Millicent's, a different aunt ranch of sorts. I don't quite know. And finds out that it is in trouble. They're going to have to sell because they don't have the money. And on a ride, all of a sudden, Barbie finds this horse that's white and has pink in its mane. And it's basically this magical beast that people have been trying to find. And Barbie found it. I don't know. It's all bad and it doesn't make any sense. During this time period, Mattel was like, we're going to do Barbie and her sisters, Barbie and her sisters. This is the only Barbie and her sisters that I put on here. There are two that are puppy adventure ones, and I think I've seen them. I definitely owned them at one point because of my sister. But those would be in Elephants, Bears, and Cats. Like, there's no, that wouldn't even be a shot. This, where did we put it? Me and her decided it goes in Elephants, Cats, and Bears. Oh my. It's so not good. It's not good. And it's just so mid that it's bad. It can't even go in like meh. There's nothing exciting about this movie. Her sisters are terrible. No, Skipper sucked too. They all sucked. And no, I didn't really like any of the characters. Maybe they're cousins, but they were weird. It just was not good. So we're moving on. Next we have Pearl Princess. This one was a shock. It's another mermaid one, so I was ready for it. I love a good mermaid, okay? So this one we have Barbie plays Lumina, who is this mermaid that lives with who she thinks is her aunt, I believe, and lives outside of any town or anything. She has a friend who's a seahorse, whose name starts with a K, but I don't remember it. I want to say it's like Kita, but I think that's wrong. But anyway, she has magical powers over pearls, but she's not supposed to use those powers outside of her home. But anyway, her aunt gets called to go to the capital or whatever for some reason. And she's like, I want to go. So she sneaks away. And she goes to this hairdresser run by an octopus. And she becomes a hairstylist there. And using her pearl powers is able to make people's hair look really pretty and all this and that. They go to a ball, whatever. The villain wants the throne, obviously, and wants to poison the king and queen. There's also been there's a lost princess, okay? This is very Rapunzel, like Tangled coded, okay? Think about it that way. And so, connect dots. It's pretty good. There's another great song called Mermaid Party that's a vibe. This one was a good one. This was a shock, especially when the rest of these modern ones were it was like dud after dud for a while. So this one's going in minor complaints. It is definitely not the best mermaid at all, but it might be slightly better than Mermaid Tale 2, but they're pretty even. So it's really good. It's just not as good. I don't know. And I do wish that there is like a minor love interest who shows up out of the blue named Delphin. He's fun. I just wish he was in it more. And he has a dolphin. That's like his like horse is a dolphin. It's so fun. But they're not really around, so minor complaints for Pearl Princess. Next is Barbie and the Secret Door. I have such a hatred for this movie. It makes me so mad. I remember seeing the trailer being like, yo, we're gonna have another good Barbie movie. It's been a while. And then I watched it and it was a dud. It was not good. It was nothing like the trailer. I was so mad. With me saying that, it's going in Elephants, Cats, and Bears. Oh my, it's so bad. It's so bad. Barbie plays a princess. Do I know her name? No. She is not like other princesses. She's pretty quirky, likes to read, is not super good at dancing or public speaking, I believe, and wishes she had magic. She finds this door on the palace grounds that leads to a magical world, and it turns out princesses and royals have magic in this world. So all of a sudden she has magic. That's not explained. And she meets a fairy and a mermaid, both who had magic stripped from them by the villain. And the villain is the thing that makes me the most mad about this movie. It is a child who doesn't have magic. And it's so bad. It's not good. Like, the main theme song, it's not good. Ugh. I hated it. I didn't like it at all. Me and my sister hate this movie with a passion. And it might have to do with the fact that we were so misled by the trailer to think it was going to be good, and then it was nothing like the trailer and was just this horrible piece of garbage that we hate it so much. But it's still not good. It's horrible, and it's not quite the worst because I think Princess and the Pop Star is worse, but it's not. It's so bad. Now we have Princess Power. Oh, another not good one. Barbie plays a princess. She's kissed by this magical butterfly and gets superpowers. Okay, that's kind of the whole thing. It's Spider-Man, but if he was a princess. And then I don't know. I don't understand the villain. I don't remember what he wants. He has a frog that's cool, and Barbie's friends are kind of cool. I think none of this is memorable. I don't remember a whole lot of Princess Power. I remember it not being good. Okay, it was bad. It wasn't good. The only good thing to come out of the movie was that frog, and I don't even know the frog's name. I don't know the villain's. I don't know Barbie's name. It's not good. It's so bad. I think her hero name was Princess Sparkle. That's how bad this thing is. It's so bad. It's elephants, cats, and bears. Oh my! It's terrible movie. Let's just move on because there's nothing else to say about it. Now we have Rock and Royals. Think Camp Rock, but there's two camps, and one is Camp Rock, or in this case, Camp Pop, and one is Camp Royal. Great. This is actually good. It is surprisingly good because everything up until this point, like the last couple, have been duds, like hard duds. So Rock and Royals, we have Barbie who plays Courtney, and we have another girl who plays Erica, I think is her name. And Erica's a pop star, Courtney's princess. Somehow they get sent to the wrong camps. Courtney gets sent to Camp Pop, Erica goes to Camp Royal. And the whole thing is that they supposedly can't have both camps. And so there's going to be this big talent show to see which camp stays open. And yeah, it's fun. The music is fun. Camp Royal is more a cappella, so it's giving Pitch Perfect. And Camp Pop uses instruments, which is giving Camp Rock. So it's super fun. It is way better than some of the stuff before it. And it goes in minor complaints. I don't really remember any other characters' names other than their own. I don't think that there's animal sidekicks, if I remember correctly. But the music is good. The solution to the problem is so stupid. But I don't know, I'm kind of here for it. So Rock and Royals would definitely recommend that one. One of the very few of the modern ones I would actually recommend. But minor complaints, Rock and Royals. Last of the Barbie movies that I've seen is Spy Squad. So in this one, Barbie's a teenager. She's got her two friends. Don't remember which of the friends they are. And they are gymnasts. They do gymnastics. And I want to say it's Barbie's aunt, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Wants them to join this spy agency and stop this cat burglar. I think that's about it. There's a robot dog. That's kind of cool. And the guy in this movie is not a love interest for Barbie, but one of her friends, and they're super cute. Definitely not as bad as some of the other ones. It's going in meh, and I'm okay with that. It's definitely not minor complaints. It's not good enough to be there, but I don't know if it's as bad as the ones on the bottom. And I think my sister agrees with me on this. We decided that's where it was going to go. So that's Spy Squad. I don't know what else really to say about it other than I think they win. I'm pretty sure they do. It would be weird if they didn't. And that's it. I'm now going to quickly rearrange orders and things, and I'll put a final ranking. All right, so this is the final list. This is the final ranking of everything. There you go. If you agree with them, let me know in the comments below. If you have any thoughts, put them in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I love talking about Barbie, and especially some of the newer stuff, because what's going on, truly, I don't know. Now, there's obviously a bunch that I didn't have on here, that I haven't watched, so I couldn't say anything about them. Most of them are modern, but the oldest one I haven't seen is Barbie Diaries. I have no desire to watch Barbie Diaries. If you have seen any clips, you'll understand why. The animation, I don't know what they thought they were doing with that because it's not good animation. And so I will never get watched. And a lot of the more modern stuff I just haven't seen because I have no desire because it looks all garbage. So we don't talk about it. That's it for this video. Like and subscribe. Like if you liked it, like if you didn't, why not? It's not going to hurt anything. Comment any of your thoughts down below. I'd love to see any thoughts. I don't know when this is going to go up. I don't know when the next one's going to come out because school is coming very close to an end. But yeah, you'll just have to wait and see. I guess I'll see you next time in Kiara's Corner.